Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca at the Church of Chewbacca, and we're going to go over the 10 best team affinities to invest in overall if you're at 0 and you want to go up to 120 fans. I'm going to give you a list of the top 10 and 2 honorable mentions that you should maybe go after depending if you're a fan of that team or maybe you just need the positions that they fill. This is not going to be an in-depth card review. I have other videos on the channel for in-depth card reviews with all of the divisions, all of the cards already. So this is just a top 10, 0 to 120 fans based off the players' attributes, their positions, and pretty much their value to how you can use them on your team. Guys, hit that subscribe button so we can continue to get the channel to grow. Really appreciate it. And let's get into the video and start with the top 10. Honorable mentions. So the first team with honorable mentions is going to be the Minnesota Twins. Their cards are face of the franchise, Byron Buxton in center field. Whenever you get to 50 fans, at the 50 fans, you're going to get a really good defensive outfielder, super fast, plays above his attributes hitting. Also, you're going to get a first baseman, Alex Killaroff from the Minnesota Twins as well. That's the future star card. Great hitter, left-handed bat, can play left field, right field. So essentially, you're going to get a first baseman and a center fielder out of this Minnesota Twins program. They get an honorable mention. Buxton, Killaroff can really do some work on your team. They're both pretty good cards. I recommend kind of grinding them in the 11th and 12th spots, a little bit outside of top 10, but they could be interchanged for some other teams depending on what your needs are on your team. Like I said, this card's a great left-handed hitter with good power, good contact, high vision, and decent fielding. The next team in the honorable mentions is the Chicago Cubs. They have Anthony Rizzo for their face of the franchise card at 50 fans. Great first baseman, left-handed bat, big swing. Has good power against righties, good vision, decent power and contact for his lefties. Obviously a semi-decent fielder for a first baseman. It says he has silver defense, but that's only because he doesn't have a great arm. He plays first base, so you don't really need to throw the ball. Very good swing. Really like this card. The Future Stars card is Nico Hoerner. And honestly, it's a second baseman, good contact bat, really high vision, good in the field, has great speed at 84. Secondary position of shortstop and center field. I think with him and Rizzo as a combination, they're actually two very good cards. They probably could have made it into the top 10. However, I just feel like there's better options. Both Rizzo and Hoerner have great swings. Really look into these cards, especially if you're a Chicago Cubs fan. I would definitely invest my time to get these cards, to get all the way up to 120 fans. You get Rizzo at 50, get Hoerner at 120. Great wombo combo there. You have the right side of your infield set for a little bit. Guys, now that we've knocked the honorable mentions out of the way, let's get into that top 10, baby. Coming in at number 10. At number 10, we have the Washington Nationals. The first card at the 50 fans mark is the face of the franchise, Juan Soto. And pretty much he's carrying the two of these cards. The second card is very good too, the Future Stars. However, Soto is absolutely filthy. A lot of people love the card. He has great hitting attributes across the board. Good vision, great discipline. Not the best fielder, but he plays left field. And he makes all of the routine plays in the outfield. Besides playing left field, he can also play center field and right field. He's a left-handed batter with a super glitchy swing. At the 120 fans mark, you get Luis Garcia, second baseman, can play third base and shortstop, so a guy that can play all over the infield. Once again, another guy that has good contact numbers, pretty decent power with good vision, as well as pretty decent defensive numbers. They're a little bit more slacking than his defense. However, good card. I recommend maybe trying him at third base compared to second base. However, still a good card. Him and Soto together give you a very good second baseman and left fielder. Coming in at number 9. In the 9th position, we have the Texas Rangers with Joey Gallo as their face of the franchise card. Primary right field, but he can play all over the outfield, first base and third base. Amazing fielding attributes. Don't need to worry about where you play him. He's a monster at third base. However, teamed up with his Future Stars card, you're not going to want to play him at third base, so you could have two corner infielders or an outfielder and a third baseman. So we look at his contact, not great for Joey Gallo, but he absolutely crushes the ball. You put a bat on it, it could go 450 feet. And he has ridiculous arm strength at 99, arm accuracy, huge cannon, rocket launcher, whatever you want to call it, on his shoulder. Left-handed bat, right-handed throwing, but with a bunch of secondary positions. The future stars card is Josh Young. He is a third baseman only. That's why I mentioned Joey Gallo might not be playing third base if you get this wombo combo of these two guys, but you could have two corner infielders at first base and third base. Pretty good defensively, has a somewhat strong arm, not as strong as Gallo, but a good arm at 87 arm strength. A good hitter, has great contact, good power, and great vision at 90. This card is all around pretty above average to very good. Him and Gallo combined, you got two guys. You could get like your middle of your lineup, maybe a 4-hitter and 6-hitter, 3-hitter and 6-hitter. But I like both of the cards. They're coming in at number 9. Coming in at number 8. The Los Angeles Dodgers come in at number 8 with Justin Turner at third base for their face of the franchise card. This card absolutely rakes for his attributes. Look at those attributes, guys, for hitting. 110 contact versus lefty, 92 contact versus righty, 92 power versus lefties with 93 vision. Honestly, if he was better defensively, they probably would have bumped almost to the top 5, but Justin Turner defensively is such a liability. He's really just a bench bat against lefties. If you have better options at third base, which you'll see down the list of this face of the franchise cards and future stars cards. So really the defense for Justin Turner really hurt the LA Dodgers here. But you just look at him, his hitting is pretty damn good. Let's go take a look at their future stars card. Brusdar Graterol, the nasty sinker baller with ridiculous velocity and great per nines. Low on the stamina, which hurt the LA Dodgers again a little bit. Just if they aren't all the way complete cards, Graterol has nasty stuff and Turner has nasty hitting. You're going to get a guy that's in your rotation for sure with Graterol, and you're going to get a guy with Justin Turner that you can at least use as a bench bat against lefties. If not, he could play first base or third base if you need him to. He can play all over the infield as you saw for his secondaries. However, Graterol and Turner, not being the most well-rounded players, got to come in at number 8. Coming in at number 7. This selection right here hurt my heart, guys. As a Pirates fan, only get number 7 in these team affinities. However, 7's still a good spot with 30 teams. But it's going to go to Josh Bell and Ke'Bryan Hayes. However, you look at the Bell card, really good hitter. Unfortunately, just doesn't hit the left-handed pitcher that well with only 61 contact. He's a switch hitter, so he does have good lefty-righty matchups, and his defense is a little lacking. But the fact that he's a switch hitter does make him valuable, and he can play right field. Honestly, you could probably argue that they might even be a little bit lower on the list. However, Josh Bell being a switch hitter and having a glitchy swing, especially versus the right-handed pitchers, puts him up as a very good bench bat. And I think that because he's a first baseman and he has that huge Frank Thomas type body at 6'4", 240 pounds, dude could be playing tight end and linebacker in the NFL. Big old thick boy. He really can knock the ball down, and his defense plays a little bit higher attribute-wise. That's why I'm giving him the bump over the Dodgers. So Ke'Bryan Hayes, obviously, like I said before in the review, when you guys watch that Future Stars, he's in the top 10, and he obviously is a vacuum cleaner at third base. The best defensive third baseman in the game right now. He makes Manny Machado looks like he should be a bronze fielder. And you look at the hitting, he has great contact versus both-handed pitchers, as well as pretty decent pop and good vision. He's just a very well-balanced hitter with absolutely splendid defense. And that's what you want to see. The Pirates, it hurts my heart. They shouldn't be any higher on the list, if I'm being honest. That's why I got him at 7. 7 might even be a little bit biased. I don't know. You guys can leave a comment about it and be like, dude, you need to stop being a homer so much. I think that this Ke'Bryan Hayes card really carries the pair, and Bell being a switch hitter helps them out a lot. Coming in at number 6. The number 6, we have the New York Yankees. I know you guys don't really like the Yankees. Unless you're a Yankees fan, then you love the Yankees. However, they're in at number 6 here. This Gleyber Torres face of the franchise card at 50 fans was absolutely filthy early in the game. You have to give credit where credit's due. I don't really think he's a shortstop with a secondary position to second base and third base. I never once played him at shortstop because there's always better options. However, I did play him at second and third base, and he was pretty locked down. I hate to say it because he's a Yankee, but whatever. I was going to say, look at his fielding. It's not the best. 72 fielding, 78 reactions, more than enough for second base or third base. He does have a big enough arm to play shortstop. I just think the 45 speed doesn't allow him to be rangy enough for middle infield. But at second base, he can make up for it with a huge arm. Third base is where I normally played him. He's pretty good at knocking the ball down, made some really big plays for me. But his hitting is what carries this card. He's 90 plus versus righties and lefties. I mean, it's just amazing. 70 vision plus 85-ish contact against both-handed pitching. He is right-handed batting, just so you guys know. But this is a really, really good card. And then for their Future Stars card, they had Clark Schmidt. He has just very, very good overall nines, control. Everything's pretty much 80 and up, minus his home runs per nine, which is 75. But 75 is actually really, really good in this game right now. And he has really good stamina. He's a sinker baller, so you kind of got to work your pitches a little bit better. But he does have a pretty good release point when you're pitching with him, a good windup. So I actually like this card. He has a great slider, good mix. Highly recommend grinding for these two Yankees cards. They might have been able to end up in the top 5, but I just think there's a couple better options. Very, very good, though. I know they're Yankees, but it's worth getting these cards, guys. Coming in at number 5. Well, I'm glad you guys have made it this far. We're into the top 5. This is really what you guys want to see, right? And at number 5, kicking it off, we have the Cleveland Indians. The first baseman, Carlos Santana, with the secondary as a catcher, which is huge. One of the biggest reasons why they made it in the top 5 was the secondary of being able to play catcher for Carlos Santana, because that makes him the best catcher out of all these card options, in my personal opinion, even if defensively he's not that great. The only other options in the entire thing, unless you factor in the prospect cards that are golds, which no one's really using, is Buster Posey and Yadier Molina, both of which are not very good cards. So this makes him the best catcher, especially with his hitting attributes. As you can see, except for the 70 contact versus righty, he's 80 plus in everything. 86 vision, really good pop against lefties, still good pop against righties. A switch hitter, very, very glitchy, good swing, always makes solid contact with the ball. Now let's go look at their future star. The future star is the power-hitting Nolan Jones. Third baseman, secondary positions of first base, left field, and right field. He has a huge arm, almost rivaling Gallo, but not as much. Still 95 arm strength is ridiculous. He's going to knock the ball down with the reaction in the fielding, 74 plus. And the power is just redonkulous. 106 power versus righty, 98 power versus lefty. Not the best vision in the card, but you're looking for a power-hitting lefty here. You're not looking for a guy that can see the ball really well. He's going to swing and miss some, but when he does connect, it's going to go yah-yah, and that's what you like to see. Coming in at number 4. At number 4, this could be a little bit of controversy. However, I got the Los Angeles Angels here. Now, I know Shohei Ohtani does not have the best attributes for pitching, but he does have ridiculously filthy stuff. I think the only other card you could argue in all of the Team Affinities that has nastier stuff of just what he throws might be Gratterall. However, the Ohtani's change of speed is absolutely ridiculous. 100-mile-per-hour fastball, and he comes back with a curveball that goes like 75 miles an hour. That's just some adjustment you got to do whenever trying to hit him. He doesn't have the best stamina at 88, but he does have a good hits per 9 at 84 and a good Ks per 9 at 94 with 60 home run per 9. But the biggest thing about Ohtani that makes him a difference maker is you get an extra batter. He strokes it against right-handed pitching, hits the left-handed pitching okay, but he's a pitcher. It's better than any other pitcher in the game. But he's still going to crush right-handed pitching. He's a left-handed bat, right-handed throwing. Just being the dual player that he is, hitter, pitcher, makes him more valuable than a lot of other cards. So if you're thinking about him just as a pitcher, yes, you could argue and say they might be lower on the list, but not so, because he can also hit the ball, which gives you an extra hitter in those ranked seasons games. To pair with Ohtani with a future star, Brandon Marsh, a center fielder, as if the Los Angeles Angels need any more center fielders. They got Trout and Joe Adell plus Brandon Marsh, where they're all going to stand on top of each other in the outfield. I'm assuming at some point in time, Marsh and Adell will go to the corners, but we'll see when that happens. They're both still developing as players. But speaking of the card, as you can see, this is a very, very well balanced, higher end card. 94 overall, 82 fielding, 90 arm strength, so he has a hose, 85 speed, 83 reaction. Gonna flag down a lot of balls in the outfield, has an arm to throw people out, and he just has very good hitting. He's a left-handed batter, right-handed throwing. He has 94 contact, 90 plus contact, almost 80 plus power, 78 versus lefties. The biggest downside of this card is a 69 vision, but with a high contact, he still has a decent sized PCI. This is putting the Angels at the 4 spot here. Just a combo of Ohtani and Marsh. Coming in at number 3. The Atlanta Braves come in at number 3. And I know you're saying, well, the Ozzie Albies can play second base and shortstop, but look at his hitting, man. His contact versus righty's just not that great. But he has a super glitchy swing. I don't know if you guys know this. This is one of the glitchier swings in the game. It's very close to Alberto Mondesi's type of glitchy swing. Plus, he does have a lot of range at second base or shortstop. I play him at second base, not shortstop, because of his arm strength, only 54. But he also absolutely mutilates left-handed pitching, and he has good vision. Also, he's paired with Kyle Wright, when we'll look at that card in 1 second. The combination of Albies and Kyle Wright really make this the number 3 team. However, this card will absolutely match left-handed pitching. It does well enough against right-handed pitching to get you base hits, and that's really all you would need. He's 73 speed, so you can put him in the 8 spot, you can put him in the 2 spot. Just an overall good hitter with a glitchy swing. This is the card that kind of carried the pair a little bit, but Albies is still a very good card, don't get me wrong. But this Kyle Wright is absolutely filthy. He has all of this stuff you want in a pitcher. He can be a little bit wild, but not really. I mean, 78 base on balls per 9 and 82 controls, more than enough to control the pitcher with the nasty stuff that he does have. He has that 95 stamina, which is ridiculous. A good hits in K per 9, 93 plus. Plus, he has good pitching clutch. The home runs per 9 at 70 is a little low, but it's a good rating for this game, especially the state that it's in right now in terms of cards and what the pitchers have in their home runs per 9. You don't have anybody with like ridiculous home runs per 9 yet in the game. So right at this point in time, Kyle Wright is one of the elite pitchers in the game. And I really like this card. Him and Albies coming in number 3. Definitely should grind for both of them, especially even if it's just to get right. And the factor of getting a switch hitter second baseman is very, very good on top of getting the right. This will be a dude that's definitely in rotation for a while. Coming in at number 2. At the second spot, we have the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, there was a hard decision for me to make between the 2 and the 1 spot. They're both very close, especially because of the Future Stars cards they have. It really came down to who has the better face of the franchise, in my opinion, because the Future Stars cards are relatively the same for me when it comes to playing and what kind of quality they bring to your team. But for this, Blake Snell is the face of the franchise at the 50 fans. He has absolutely filthy stuff. This is one of the better left-handed pitchers in the game the whole time he was out until they released the new Future Stars. Just ridiculous 98 mile per hour fastball with really good breaking stuff. You can see his 9s are very good. Has 88 stamina, 88 hit per 9, 100K per 9. That nasty break at 94 makes his pitches very good. And he has 74 home run per 9, which is huge. Yes, he can be a little wild and hard to control, but you really just got to throw the ball more out of the zone rather than in the zone and hope it hits into the zone or people swing at it because he does have filthy stuff. Then there's Vidal Brujan, the second baseman, the speedster, the Roberto Alomar of this year's game so far. And he is just absolutely filthy. Can secondary as shortstop and center field. I leave him at second base because he's a dang vacuum cleaner over there. Gets everything, gets to the hole on everything. You put a shift on, he might as well be, you don't even need a right fielder. You can play right field and second base with a shift against a lefty. That's how fast this dude is. He has a switch hitting approach at the plate, which is wonderful, and he hits 106 versus righties in contact, 92 contact versus lefties. He doesn't have a lot of power, but I've hit my fair share of dingers with this card. 97 vision. This card is just amazing. 95 speed. This is one of the best cards in the game, guys. Even if you don't like Snell for whatever reason and you don't want to pitch with him, just getting to 120 fans because of Brujan is well worth it. Like, this card in itself carries enough weight to just be in the top 10. He could have been paired with Yadier Molina from the St. Louis Cardinals, and he would have still made his card in the top 10, unlike the card that he is paired with, Nolan Gorman, who's actually a very, very good Future Stars card, but Yadier Molina is so dang bad that the pair of them couldn't make it into the top 10 or even an honorable mention. But this card could have carried Yadier Molina. That's how good this card is. Coming in at number 1. Coming in first place is something the Padres are not used to. However, on this top 10 list, they're number 1. We got Fernando Tatis Jr., the shortstop. Secondary is a second base and third base. This card right here has won me plenty of games. He's absolutely dirty. His hitting across the board. Yes, this card only has 85 power versus righty and 79 power versus lefty. But the way he hits the ball in his swing, it might as well be 100 plus on each side. It's absolutely ridiculous. At leadoff, I think he has like 20 or 30 home runs for me in maybe 80 games, 90 games. He's absolutely a monster. Good contact, as you can see, 87 plus. The thing that makes this card amazing is, minus his arm accuracy being low at 60, is at 89 speed with his fielding and his arm strength, he makes literally every play at shortstop. If you have him and Brujan as your shortstop and second baseman, the middle is closed. Nobody should hit the ball up the middle. No one should hit the ball in the 6-hole or the 4-hole. Just they better figure out how to put an outfield in the gaps, because they're not going to get a lot of hits on the ground unless they really pound one through there. Anything that's slow or not hit very well, they will both literally vacuum clean it up like absolutely filthy monsters. But Tatis is part of the San Diego Team Affinity, so he is paired with Taylor Trammell, and literally this card is another speedster. If you watch the other video, I talk about him a little bit more in depth, but he has great contact. He has amazing pop in his bat, left-handed batting, left-handed throwing. The only downside of this card is he doesn't have a lot of arm strength, but he's literally Ed Reed in the outfield. If it's like a quarterback trying to throw a pass over the middle and it's wobbly, Ed Reed will come down with it, and that's hard for me to say as a Steelers fan. Guys, the San Diego Padres tops off the list at number 1. I appreciate you all watching. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button so that I know I'm doing a good job. Really would appreciate it. As well as that notification bell so you know whenever I'm uploading videos. If you are enjoying the content and you want to watch me live, come on over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/HopefulChewbacca. I stream Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but don't have a set schedule. But you should follow me on Twitter. That way you know when I'm going live on those days. At Hopeful1137. I'll tweet it out so you guys can come over and watch and have a good time. We can have some conversation about some of these rankings that I've done, some of the YouTube videos I posted, or anything else you want to talk about. Major League Baseball, sports. Or you guys can add me on PlayStation Network. My username is Hopeful1137. If you have any questions, want to play a friendly, would love to. Guys, you have a great day and be safe.